Hi, this is Mrs. V. And with all of the rumors spreading around our country regarding cures for the COVID virus and the COVID virus itself, this reminds me of undergrad school. You see, there are 4 ways of knowing. Intuitive, we know just because we know. Group think, we know because the group thinks that something is true. Then the Milgram experiment, we listen to people who are in authority or who we feel have power. And in the Milgram experiment, just because the imposter wore a white lab jacket, people actually shocked what they thought was a person to a lethal dose of execution. So this is one way of knowing because someone in power. And the final way of knowing is research. And I know there's some healthy skepticism about research. But research, and I'm not talking Google, I'm talking peer-reviewed articles in the American Medical Society, peer-reviewed articles from the CDC. These are reliable sources. So all I'm saying to you, America, is be informed. Always research. Now, on a brighter note, I am going to start, many of you may not know this, but I am a writer and a poet. And for 35 years, I have been writing poetry. And in the 80s, when I thought of Diary of a Black Woman, I didn't copyright it. So Tyler, you got the title. But I am going to be giving a synopsis of my book, which is entitled The Aspirations, the Dreams, the Pains, the Heartaches, the Joys, the Diary of a Real Black Woman. And through this synopsis, you will find throughout my life, it chronicles my life, and behind each chronicle, this is not just for African American women. This is for all women. So as I chronicle the stages of my life, I will be breaking down each individual woman. And I'm sure throughout it's not just for African American women. As I chronicle the struggles, the pains through my life, somewhere in there, you will find yourself. And following each chapter is a poem. But Kathy's Corner will strictly deal with the synopsis and each individual stage of my life, which will touch some woman's life, no matter what color, no matter what beliefs you have. So I invite you to Kathy's Corner every Friday. And please subscribe to my channel and become a patron. And in these troubled times, may God bless us all.